First of all, congratulations on the film and getting a digital release. How are you feeling?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so happy that the movie's getting a chance to get out in the world and be seen. It's been a long time coming. We actually shot like during COVID, so it's I'm glad that it's seeing the light of day.
No, absolutely, especially it's such an important story and so relevant always, unfortunately. Um, but I went into this film blind because I wanted to get like a natural reaction as I thought of questions for this interview. And I just remember having this nagging feeling where I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop.
hmm
What was your experience when you first read the script?
Yeah, I mean, I think very much the same. I think Kirsten, the director, set it up really beautifully. So there's that sense of anticipation, but you're not exactly sure what's going to happen. Um, but um, yeah, I mean, I think I was when I first read it, I was just as a musician myself, I was really looking forward to having the opportunity to combine two of my passions, and I think it's a story that's really important and now more than ever needs to be told.
Absolutely. I also love knowing that you are a singer and an actress that he kept saying, like, you have to focus on one thing. And I'm like, no, she's doing it both. Let her.
Exactly, yeah, and I mean that happened to me all the time, and people still ask like, "What do you like better?" Which like that's fine, but when I was in my early 20s and I was like first starting to really pursue my career, people really did pressure me all the time to try to make a choice, and it's silly. Like I felt I like struggled so much because I care so deeply for both music and acting, and I think it's such a bizarre old school mentality to be like, you can only do one thing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely like r- reflective of real life.
And then also just her entire journey while chasing her dreams, while also trying to afford to pay rent, and then encountering this man that, as a viewer, you sympathize with Astor because it comes to a point that even though, again, you're waiting perhaps as a viewer for that other shoe to drop, you're hoping for the best because even though sometimes it seems too good to be true, you're thinking to yourself, but I deserve this. I deserve all these good things that are happening. And um, in this case, it was a case of love bombing, but it's that mental gymnastics where you're like, but you deserve this kind of affection. I'm wondering what was your thought process or how did you approach Astor's thought process throughout the film?
Yeah, I mean, I think unfortunately, like manipulation and gaslighting and love bombing are things that most women I mean, most people, especially women, have experienced, whether it's in the music industry or just in their personal lives or sort of any industry. So I think most people have some sort of experience with that, and I just tried to like be honest with what that was like for me and bring that. Sorry, I'm getting bring that to Astor's performance.
And especially speaking on stories about domestic abuse and toxic relationship, it's so important to create a safe space for your cast and crew. And you mentioned your director, Kirsten Foe. I'm curious what it was like tackling the story under her leadership and how was she able to like create that environment for you guys to be able to tell the story safely.
Yeah, I mean, Kirsten is so bright and so warm and such a female advocate. It wasn't not only was the director female, but like the DP, and it's such a based story. So she always made sure that I felt comfortable and just was is like it's a women created movie, so it always just felt like a safe environment.
Um, and going into that, I've previously interviewed Judy Greer for CherryPicks. And during that interview, she mentioned she was covering a role where she was the mom of a school shooter, which is a very intense role.
hmm
And we talked about self-care. And for her, it was listening to Renaissance because it had just come out. And that was what like was able to bring her back into herself and step out of
hmm
her character. Considering again a story about domestic abuse and
Right.
having to deal with heavy moments, did you have any self-care routines?
Well, one of the great things about this project is that it actually shot in LA, which is unfortunately somewhat rare for movies now. So I was really lucky to be able to come home to my own space every night, and sleep in my own bed and have my cats and everything. And I think also in the movie, Olivia Sui is my real life best friend. So it was wonderful to be able to have her on set with me. And then just like another thing that I always do for my self-care is just talk to my sister. She's my best friend, so I was able to do that. And yeah, we shot most. I live on the east side, and we shot mostly on the west side. So even just like having the drive home to sort of do something similar, just like listen to podcasts and like relax a little bit.
Yeah, and be able to like reset through that drive
Hmm.
as well. But
Hmm.
I love that Olivia, as you mentioned, is your best friend and you guys got to be so close on the and like it comes through the dynamic between you two. I think my favorite part watching the movie was how Noelle never really judged her, even though sometimes in those situations it can be frustrating when the person that you're trying to help isn't really like meeting you in the middle. But again, she stays by her side, and this leads to an important conversation that I think was my favorite moment that you mentioned. Are you saying I'm the victim because I'm not the victim? And I love how the movie emphasizes that this is not her fault. I'm
Hmm.
wondering, how did you two navigate that important scene and just nailing the message that, again, these things happen. And unfortunately, like, it's not your fault. You are not the victim.
Yeah. Well, I think Olivia is such a talented actor and comedian and writer, so I think that a lot of it just was as simple as like bringing what's on the page to life. Um, and also having been my best friend for like, yeah, I don't know, 5+ years now, she's been through a lot with me, and we were able to sort of draw on my own life experiences and hers, and which is sort of just like I think what most good acting is.
I also, you mentioned the cat, and I think I wrote down my notes. I love that she took the cat when he started like showing his true colors, and she just left with them like, yes, take the
I
cat. He doesn't
know,
deserve
yeah.
it.
I love that too. I'm a big cat person. I foster kittens all the time. I have 3 rescue cats, and like so I was happy to see Astor got the cat.
Yeah. And also, as a mother yourself, I was wondering, looking back on the film, are there any moments that you feel, or that if you were to think back now, that your maternal instincts kind of kick in a protective way over Astor?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine. I mean, my daughter's only 5 months old, so it's hard to imagine her in any situation like this. But I would be incredibly protective and pissed off if something like this happened to my baby.
Yeah, no. And luckily, again, I think that was my favorite part of this movie. All the female presence around her, like with Kate, her manager, Noelle, even her own mom, they were also understanding. And even though, again, there is that frustration where someone you love is going down a path you don't want them to, they all stood by her.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
thought that was such a
absolutely.
good detail.
And I think that having strong female presences in your life is such a gift, whether it's friendships or family or you know manager relationships can
Mhm.
become so personal and important too. So yeah, I'm glad Asterly said that.
Yeah, especially a manager. A manager, like you have to have that connection. They have to be like family or else it doesn't work.
Yeah, totally.
But then to end on a lighter note, Astor is a woman breaking into the music industry. Did you create a playlist for your character? Or if you didn't, what are 3 songs that come to mind, or maybe one that reminds you of Astor?
Um, I mean, I didn't make a specific playlist for the movie. I'm trying to think of something that's like on theme with it. I don't know. I mean, it's just like. just Elvis Hound Dog just popped into my mind, but
Yeah, I know. I you can't see it. I wore my Fleetwood Mac shirt because I kept thinking of Silver Springs when she started
oh yeah,
writing that
yeah,
song about him. I'm like, let's go,
yeah.
Silver
Totally,
Springs
yeah.
him. But this was great. Again, congratulations on the film, and I can't wait for everyone to see this because again, you did such a wonderful job, and all of you just brought so much light to it, especially again that foundation of just women sticking by each other even when things get tough instead of like leaving each other behind.
Well, thank you so much.